Shavua Tov. Continuing with the Halachot of Lashon Hara where we left off, we're discussing now different elements of Kabalat Lashon Hara, how to when you're choshesh, when it's permissible, how to do it. Category number 5 in this section, topic number 5 is conveying chashash to others. It's a very applicable halacha that comes up in day-to-day life in many businesses, and we'll try to clarify today momentarily. Just as one may be choshesh, you can suspect Lashon Hara if the information possesses a potential damage or danger to him. He should warn others who may similarly be affected. However, if one wishes to tell other people to be choshesh for the negative information that he knows, but the nature of the listeners is that they will invariably accept his words as fact and act upon them to damage or embarrass the subject of Lashon Hara or to provoke controversy, it is prohibited to convey the message to them, even though it would be to their benefit. So this is a very important halacha. Very often, for example, in the jewelry and diamond business, part of the industry is built on trust. It's built on conveying credit and extending credit, giving out merchandise, giving out goods without getting money. That's how the industry has been built. A good name is worth a lot more than any dollar amount in the industry. So, for example, there's a chat in the community where people they don't know. A new customer approaches them asking to get goods on memo, goods on consignment. They send a message to the chat saying, "Hi, does anyone know this individual, this store, this person? Are they trustworthy for this amount of money?" Is that a problem, Lashon Hara, for me to respond saying no, that I had a bad encounter, or I heard someone had a bad encounter? So that's exactly this halakha. It's permitted to convey chashash to others. The same way you are allowed to protect yourself from getting stolen or getting hurt, you can also protect others on condition that they don't believe it to be the truth. The same way, when we proceed with chashash, we don't actually assume this person to be evil. We're just protecting ourselves and proceeding with due caution. Same applies in this scenario. So in our example of the jewelry industry, asking for references, it would be totally okay to express your experience or express what you've heard on condition that the people in the chat understand that this doesn't mean this person is evil. It doesn't mean this person is a rasha. This is just my experience with him. Again, obviously, all the other halachot have to apply. Amecha, it has to be someone from our nation, etc. But it's a classic example of this, where unfortunately, if someone knows of a Jewish business, a Jewish person who has a bad history, whether he was personally affected or he knows someone firsthand, he might have an obligation to relay that information over. And the only exception is if they will automatically believe it. Now, why doesn't that allow? I mean, in the example where the subject, the person that I relay the information to, will automatically assume this company to be evil, why is that not allowed? Because we have a famous Gemara that says, who says your blood is redder? The Gemara Sanhedrin. Meaning, how can you distinguish? You have a mitzvah, ve'afta l'recha kamocha. I have to love my fellow like I love myself. So I have to help you not get hurt. But how do I know if your blood is more red than his blood? Meaning, how do I know who's more righteous, more holy? If this person will violate the Lashon Hara, why do I have to hurt the other subject? Therefore, in that scenario, you shouldn't speak, don't open your mouth. But besides for that specific scenario, that the person will automatically judge them negatively, generally this classic example that would be mutar, permitted, and it's how pretty much the industry runs in a kosher and halachic observance way. Halach Chazaku Baruch.